these are my shorts. Yeah, those look like something a pro wrestler would wear, man.
Do you remember when Bruno Sammartino suddenly decided...
I don't remember anything about that era of wrestling because I wasn't born yet. Let's talk about Runner.
He decided to get a perm, though.
Decision over.
He permed
Listen,
his hair.
We're moving. You sounded so sad, like JJ. It was such a big moment for me. He permed his hair.
Well, when the most masculine image you watch at midnight on WOR decides to perm his hair, it's a little catastrophic to a 9-year-old.
Nothing to me was worse than when they turned on Jimmy Snuka and pile drived him on the cement floor.
Right.
I think it was Greg the Hammer Valentine. Was it David Schultz and Lou Albano or
I don't remember.
Greg the Hammer?
I don't remember.
And I was like, oh my God, this is the big...
I remember Greg the Hammer's finishing move, which was the figure 4 leg lock.
You know why they called him the Hammer? Giant.
Right.
That's what I was told by a waitress at the Comedy Trap in Buffalo in like 1989. She was his ex-wife. She goes, they don't call him the Hammer because he hits like one, honey.
Oh, that's great.
I was like, okay. Weird. And she goes, and let me tell you something else. I don't have a gag reflex. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to my room. This is disgusting.
And with her, of course.
No,
Come back with me, sweetie.
that's the thing. That was never my thing.
No gag reflex was never your thing.
When we met, my wife and I, she goes, Jay Hoare, I know all about it. I hear Opie and Anthony always talking about. I'm like, oh no, because it's not.
Right.
I always was alone in a hotel room watching Sports Center in a bong. It was much more important to me than hanging out till 4 in the morning at a Dave and Buster's going, so how old's your brother? Older or younger? Like, I don't care. I don't want to look through your fucking photo albums. This is when everybody had mustaches in my family. Yeah, it's a mustache. Are we doing this? What's happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that was
I'm
me.
saying, yeah, I know you weren't really asking me to.
Justin Timberlake reads Runner.
Yes.
The guy that initially bought the script moves studios. So new life. He's born again there.
Yes, exactly. And then...
But how does JT, how does a guy like Justin Timberlake get a script that isn't going?
Well, the head of the studio says, hey, let's see if we can't put this together. Justin was really right for the part. His manager was one of the producers of the movie.
Right. So hold on. I got to go real slow. So the guy that bought the script that went over to a different studio, he thought I should give this to Justin Timberlake to read.
Yeah.
You should send him a fruit basket.
Good, Barry.
Undeniable, man.
Well, yeah, if the script has to be, absolutely has to be.
Undeniable.
That's the key. All you have to do is
So that guy wants to breathe life back into the script. He realizes...
His name is Brad Weston, and he runs
feels the same
New
way you did
Regency
about
now.
it. This should have been made.
Exactly right. But I mean, it's always... So then we met with Justin. Dave and I met with Justin a few times to talk about the movie. Yes. And actually, the character was originally written younger than Justin's... Originally, we thought that the character should be like a 20-year-old, 21-year-old.
Okay.
So then...
Make him a little more innocent.
He was originally a little more innocent, but it was way cooler to make him a little bit older. It was actually much better for the movie.
It played better because he had more savvy, more smarts, and there was
more
more
to go
risk.
up against Ben Affleck's character.
And real quickly for the listener, this movie, Ben Affleck is like the richest man in the world.
Ben Affleck plays a guy named Ivan Block, and this movie will come out next September. He plays a guy named Ivan Block who started the biggest online gambling company called Midnight Black. And... called Midnight Black, and Justin, in the beginning of the movie, believes he was cheated by the gambling website, and he goes to Costa Rica where they're based.
Yeah, he actually has the balls to confront them.
To confront the guy in the movie is sort of about what happens between these guys.
And he knows he has statistical analysis, like he's got that brain working.
Yeah, he's
like,
a guy.
Well, according to the numbers, there's a 1.000 chance of this happening, and plus there's something with gambling stuff I don't really understand. If you explain the gambling stuff to me, I'm cool.
And then I'll tell you an inside baseball thing. Not you. You know this, Jay. But at the last minute, I tried to make a move and get Jay in the movie. And so Jay came.
How's that baseball?
Inside. It's called. There's an expression, Jay. Inside
Twib,
baseball.
Twib notes.
Bringing somebody inside.
Let me transition this then, because I want to talk a lot about the majority of our time. I think the listeners would really be fascinated about, and being serious, about table reads, because it is this weird phenomenon in Hollywood where you're asked to do a table read as a favor, and you know full well that the people at the table are not going to be the people in the movie, except for one or two people. That happens often, which I never understand why it needs to be read aloud. Like, just have the people in the office, like just you and Dave.
Oh, this is great to talk about.
So it is like I've done a few. You asked me to do, you a favor and do the table read. And I go in there and there's Justin Timberlake, there's Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Two great dudes.
Absolutely.
And the girl lead is Diane Argon from Glee. And I go, wow, what a great casting. That's good. She's a pretty gal. She's sitting, I mean, if you like
Right,
girls.
but she
whatever.
was not.
Hey, fucking bullet point my balls off
Go
here.
ahead, bro. Tell your story.
I'm sitting next to her during the read.
Right.
And then during a part where neither one of us have dialogue, I go, so when do you leave for Puerto Rico where you guys are filming? She goes, oh, I'm not in the movie. I'm off from Glee. I'm going to Paris to just, and I'm like, oh. So I realized, because she was the only person famous that because there's a lot of people that fill in, like they'll read 3 characters or like narrate. And I thought, wow, like, so you have to call Diane Argon's people and say, would she come do a table read and help us out? Now, is this something you do? Actors do it. I know I did it for you as a friend. If I didn't know you, I would have went, no, I'm not going to drive to Hollywood to fucking read. Like, if there's something to audition for, sure. But actors, I guess, do it because they just want to stay in your consciousness next time you're writing something, and then you realize, like, next time you write something, do you have a picture of Diane Argon in your mind?
You know, well, she's terrific. That girl, Diana Agron, she's terrific. She's great.
Yeah.
I think that what happens is people do it for
And then why not cast the people that are reading it?
Sometimes you do. I mean, that's the other part of it is someone had just, and when I called you, I said, someone's getting cast for this role
Anthony
already.
Mackie.
And I said, Anthony Mackie's going to play this role. And that guy is, I think, one of the best actors working.
I
period.
lose a lot of parts to Anthony Mackie. Brother to Brother.
That's funny.
Step Up to the Streets 3.
That guy is no joke as an actor, though. If you saw Half Nelson, or if you saw,
there's no debating his talent. It's just hysterical.
The Hurt Locker, he's great in the Hurt Locker.
The large, beautiful black man, and the scruffy blonde kid from New Jersey, like same thing. What FBI agent? You want a black guy or you want a white guy? Same thing.
But here's the thing: it's like who did Dave Concepcion platoon with at first base?
I don't know.
Tony Perez? Tony Perez was the.
Okay.
You're not a baseball guy?
I'm not steering this towards sports because we did too much.
You do know, though.
We did sports and platoon.
Can I just ask you one question, though, and we can go back?
Tony Perez.
It's Tony Perez, right? But
First
then
base?
who was the other guy who would sometimes play first base at the end?
You asked me who the one was.
Cesar, come on. You must. I know you know. I know you could
Cesar
name
Milan, the dog whisperer.
I know you could name that whole. I know you could name that whole team.
Listen.
What, man?
So there's a table read. This is more important than fucking naming the Reds roster.
But I'm a listener to your podcast, and I know that when I'm walking through Central Park listening, and
But
then
we've
suddenly
done
you
that
name
already
the whole
with-
Cincinnati Reds, I'm happy. I'm like, how does Jay know that?
Well, we already did it with Platoon and the Knicks.
Okay, fine. We've done
That was our like goofing off time.
All right, now we're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You blinded by the light here? I'm gonna close these. No. So, who decides who's coming in to read?
Well, so in this movie, Dave and I were writers and producers of the movie. Then there were other producers, and there's a director. And all of us together figured out who should play these different parts in the table read. There was a chance that Anthony Mackie's dates weren't going to work out. And Dave and I both thought you'd be great for this part.
FBI agent.
It's a big part. It
Yeah,
was
it's
a
a
big
good
part
part.
in the movie. And I knew, Jay, that you would. I knew that you would come in and be terrific. I really knew you would nail it in the table read. And what you want, you ask why you do these table reads. You do them for a few reasons. The pure creative reason is you want to hear once you're on set, every change costs you money because it costs you it costs time, right? And on a movie set, you have a certain number of hours in which to shoot the movie every day before the crew goes into overtime, double time, golden time, triple time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're on the set and a scene, you rehearse a scene on set, and suddenly you realize there are 6 really clunky lines of dialogue that you have to fix and change, now you're wasting an hour and a half of shooting time to fix that, right?
That's where I would have been perfect on the set. I would have helped you with that.
But if you
Just
can
being
do
a
it,
jerk.
if you can do it ahead of time,
At the table read.
if you can do it ahead of time, Joe Morgan, Ken Griffey, George Foster,
At the table read. Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench, Don Gullett, the best pitcher.
At the table read.
Yes.
Don't fuck me on this,
At the table read, yes. Here's the thing. At the table read, you can hear the
Are
dialogue.
you thinking for the third outfielder right now,
You
too?
can hear the
That's all I'm
dialogue.
thinking about.
You are?
prick. You son of a bitch.
Griffey.
I'm like, we're missing only
Griffey,
one guy.
Foster, Cedeno, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know.
No, I really don't. Why? I
So,
wouldn't.
you know, someone out there knows who the third outfielder
I'm gonna
was. It
look
was
it up.
Griffey,
What year was it? 76.
Foster, Morgan.
What year?
76. The team that beat the Yankees in the World Series. That's the team that we're. I'll keep talking about the table read while you.
Yeah,
figure it
why
out.
don't you? It's only a
Well,
podcast about it.
So you do the table read,
dope.
and what you get out of it is, you hear what sucks. If you're me, I want to hear what doesn't work at the table read so that I can go back and workshop it and fix it. So that's a big part of it. And you want to also, the reason that you'd
Bob
call
Bailey.
The reason you would call somebody
Mike Lum, Joel Youngblood, Ed Armbruster, Cesar Geronimo.
Caesar Geronimo, thank you. The reason it was Caesar something. The reason you would call someone like you in to do that is you're a professional. You care about it. You wouldn't just pick it up and read it that morning. You knew the part. You had looked at it the night before.
Yeah, I wanted the job.
Right. You came in there. You came in there loaded for bear, ready to go. And what you want is Ben Affleck. If you're me, and Dave, what you want is to give the guys who are starring in the movie really good people, quality people to play off of in that setting, so they can start the process of imagining themselves really doing it, so they can begin the process of really absorbing it. And so I knew that you would be great at playing catch with these guys. That
It's strange to me, and I think to the listener, the Warriors, the ultimate Warriors, and the Morlock. Adam Carolla called us the Morlocks. You know who you want. There's offers on the table. Now you have to go through a process of casting something that never leaves that room. It's
Yeah,
almost
it's
like
true.
jury deliberation. Just go in, because you don't really want to talk about it when you leave, because it's not, like I don't, and I don't know other actors. Like, I guess.
But calling you is good. See, the other thing is because so if you call somebody who doesn't have a career really, who's like really a struggling actor to come in and do Zabisco, that was the part. In a way,
By the way, Anthony Mackie doesn't look like a Zabisco.
we changed his name.
Yeah.
In a way, we changed his name. But in a way, the character's name, not
Lincoln?
not Mackie's name.
Wallace?
No, we just changed the name to something
Anthony?
We changed the name to something non-Polish, Jay.
Okay.
Hardaway, you were saying?
You were
Anthony.
casting.
So here's the thing, though. If you cast some guy who doesn't have any career in a table read where you're not getting paid anything, you're showing up, it's almost, on the one hand, they could view it as an opportunity because they get to be in, play these scenes in front of the heads of studios. Because the heads of the studios, they come to these things, right? The
Right.
director. But what you really want is someone who's not going to view it as that much of a pressurized situation, and also isn't going to feel taken advantage of or anything like that. If someone's going to think, well, I really like acting. I'm going to be able to come in and play this part with these people, and it's good for relationships and fun, and you want stone pros. And so, like, I knew that.
Like, who else is on the list? I'm guessing it was a short list for me.
But I would have
because you
called.
and I were friends.
But I would have
Like
called
Diane Agron.
yeah,
Like, how many girls are on that list?
a bunch. You get.
Because when you cast a movie, there's like 6 people on your wish list, and there's another 6 that's like below that.
But famous actors will come in and do table reads for their friends all the time.
Who was she friends with?
Jennifer Kaloran, who's one of the producers of
Yeah.
the movie, manages her.
Love Jennifer.
So Jennifer said, "Do you know Jen?"
Yeah,
So
she's great.
Yeah, she's awesome. So she said, "Hey, will you come do this for us?" But I definitely would have called Edward Norton to do that if he was in LA at that time, because I would have known that Edward wouldn't think, "Oh, can I get Edward could get any part he fucking wants." So he would have just come in to have fun and act with Ben.
Yeah.
So
Another degenerate gambler, Worm, in Rounders that
I'm
you
sorry,
wrote.
man,
You wrote
he's good in
Worm,
that movie.
which I read for.
you read from Worm, yeah.
And we spoke about it briefly.
Yes.
And that was when I went in and auditioned, we both knew I didn't have it. And that was the weird thing of like, at what point do you realize this ain't for me? And you knew I wasn't right. I was on a
I
list
wasn't
after,
there, but I
was
knew-
on the
yeah,
list
yeah.
under the list that I refer. There's like Mamet really sums it up. Hit that Amazon link on jmoore.com by David Mamet, True and False. We talk about it a lot. You are an impediment to these people. They know who they want. They know Ben Affleck, Justin Timberlake. Hey, Anthony Mackie's raring to go. You know what? We can get Ed Norton as a favor. Maybe we can get Jay Moore. And then there's that second list of if this just fucking everyone just gets stranded at airports. We go at that second level, the 2.5 level. So you got to go in when you audition and create a problem. So the reason for me, which was a weird situation, was Mackie's deal was pending.
Right.
And I had been in a situation with Jerry Maguire where I went in and auditioned after it was offered to Owen Wilson,
Right.
and they rescinded his offer. So for me, in my mind, I immediately fast forwarded like 6 years from now, and our long, illustrious career together, like
Right.
Scorsese found like De Niro, and then all of a sudden it's just Scorsese and writing
It
for
was
De
just
Niro,
us making movies for 10 years.
DiCaprio, yeah, and then I go, well, this is how